She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my Week 15 NFL Power Rankings. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. At number 32, we got the New York Jets at 0-13, and they just lost horrifically to the Seahawks and will face the Los Angeles Rams in LA. That will be a most likely win for the Rams. But as I've stated before, the Jets are the most likely number one overall pick this year. But as well, the worst team in football in a long time. And to be honest, I think that Adam Gase should be fired by now. Coming in at number 31, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1-12. And after losing to the Titans, they are now going to take on the Ravens, which is a win for the Ravens in my opinion. And honestly, the Jaguars are just like the Jets. Need to fire everyone, get rid of everyone, start over, tank, do whatever you have to, get a new offense, get a new defense, basically rebuild the team. That's what the Jaguars need to do, because honestly, even if you want to use Gardner Minshew as your quarterback, or if you want to pick someone like Justin Fields, honestly, you have to build a team around him first. And honestly, I suggest that the Jaguars start picking up offensive players, offensive linemen, defensive players, and everything to basically move, either put around Minshew or put around whoever you draft this year or the next year, who knows. But as far as I can see, this is a rebuilding year for the Jaguars. Coming in at number 30, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at 2-10-1, lost to the Cowboys. Now we'll also lose to the Steelers, though. I think that the Bengals are one of the teams that should worry a lot. They should worry a lot this year because, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs. They've been eliminated. They should tank, get a good offensive lineman for Burrow, get some guys around him. You got some good receivers around him, so why not build an offensive line to protect him and get him some defensive players, so then you can be a good offense and defense. Because honestly, you guys got your QB of the future in Burrow, but you just got to build the team around him. Coming in at number 29, we got the Dallas Cowboys at 4-9. And honestly, coming off a ginormous win over the Bengals, I think the Cowboys are a team that you should watch out, that they could get the division. Still unknown who wins the division. All four teams are still eligible for the division. But as far as I could see, their game against the 49ers is tough. They're both bad teams, and honestly, Dallas, start putting a team around Dak Prescott. Honestly, I think Dak Prescott could lead you somewhere. But the thing is, you got to keep him healthy. A quarterback who isn't healthy is never going to be helping your team. And you can't just go with whoever's the backup. And if you guys go and pick a quarterback this year, you're just screwing over a quarterback that you're going to draft. Because honestly, I don't think that drafting a quarterback is the thing for the Cowboys this year. And honestly, they should tank and get some players to help Prescott or Dalton, or possibly if you draft a quarterback. Coming in at number 28, we got the Carolina Panthers at 4-9, just lost to the Broncos, and will go against the Packers. Honestly, I think the Carolina Panthers are on a good situation. They have a good head coach. They got a quarterback in PJ Walker that honestly has worked with the head coach before, as they were back in Temple when PJ was in college. But as far as I could see, PJ is a good quarterback. The thing is, he has to be in the right situation, and Carolina is the right situation for him. Honestly, I think that you can just build a team around him. Teddy is not the future. Teddy is a most likely journeyman quarterback. It's horrific that he had his career wasted, and honestly, I hope nothing but the best for him. Coming in at number 27, we got the Denver Broncos at 5-8. They just beat the Panthers, and honestly, they are going up against the Bills. And honestly, I think the Bills are a team that you should watch out for, because Buffalo, watch this, Buffalo is a team that every team should be worried about because they got an MVP caliber quarterback in Josh Allen. I mean, they just beat the undefeated Steelers, which in my opinion was not a big win, as honestly, the Steelers are a good team, but they're just not an elite team. They legit are just lucky the first 11 weeks of, or the first 11 games of the season. But as far as I can see, the Buffalo Bills are a team to fear, and the Denver Broncos need to put more protection for Drew Lock. Coming in at number 26, we have the Houston Texans at 4-9, and coming off a loss to the Bears in horrific fashion. They're going against the Colts, most likely win for the Colts. But honestly, Deshaun Watson's career has been ruined, kinda, by Bill O'Brien. But as far as I could see, they could repair something of this. I don't think that J.J. Watt's gonna stay in Houston. No doubt in my mind. I think he's gonna leave. But maybe you can build a new team. Not through the draft, of course, because Bill O'Brien decided, yeah, screw the draft. I'm going to trade my first 2 picks for a lineman and a receiver, which one of them isn't even on the team anymore, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if Kenny Stills is still on the team, but if I'm not mistaken, you traded away 2 first-rounders for that. And that was horrific, because now those picks are in Miami. And honestly, getting more picks for them is something good for the Dolphins, nothing good for the Texans. But I think the Texans, through free agency, will have to do something. Coming in at number 25, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. And honestly, the Chargers at 4-9, and they just defeated the Falcons. They just defeated the Falcons. They're going up against the Raiders. And by the time of the recording of this video, the Raiders haven't played the Chargers yet. But I most likely think it's going to be a Raider win, as I think the Raiders are just a better team. And honestly, just build the team around Justin Herbert. That's all the Chargers need to do. Coming in at number 24, we got the Chicago Bears at 6-7. And honestly, they just beat the Texans in a blowout, and they're going against the Vikings. But I think that the Vikings game is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, honestly. It's going to be very hard for the Bears. But a Vikings win is most likely the option. And you should get yourself a new quarterback. Honestly, new quarterback and new offense. Because either you get a new offense and a new quarterback. One of the two things will have to happen in Chicago. Because Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky are not it. They're not it. Mitch is not the quarterback that he was supposed to be, and Nick Foles is old. I think they should draft a quarterback and have Nick Foles mentor him. Just like Patrick Mahomes was mentored by Alex Smith. Look how Patrick Mahomes ended up. And honestly, I could see a possible future starter for the Chicago Bears if Nick Foles trains someone to be the new starter. Coming in at number 23, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-8-1. Just beat the Saints. Honestly, that was a big win for the Eagles. And they're going up against the Cardinals. It's going to be a tough game for both teams, but I think the Cardinals could end up with a win. Jalen Hurts is something. But is he the answer? That is the question that the Eagles have to know. Because right now, you're either saying Carson Wentz is our starter for the rest of the year after if this guy fails, or this guy's our quarterback moving forward. Because either you leave this guy, Jalen Hurts, as a starter throughout the rest of his career and see what happens, or you put Carson Wentz back in and then Carson Wentz, see where he takes you. But I think the most likely option for you guys is Jalen Hurts, and if he doesn't work, just draft another quarterback and build a team around him. That's all you need to do. Coming in at number 22, we got the Detroit Lions at 5-8. Just lost to the Packers and will lose to the Titans. Honestly, I think that Matt Stafford is most likely gone. Honestly, they fired Matt Patricia. Honestly, so far they've gotten Matt Patricia. I mean, their last head coach before him was at least a winner in comparisons to Matt Patricia, as he's had basically the Lions have a top 10 draft pick every year. And honestly, I think that the Lions need a new start at quarterback. I know Matthew Stafford is good. The thing is, the new regime that comes into Detroit is going to want to have a new guy. And that's what the Detroit Lions must do after the year. They must get, at least if they, I don't know how long the deal with Stafford is, but if they still have a deal with him next year, how about this? Trade him away to a team that needs a quarterback and draft your future. Or draft your future, have him mentor your future, and then either let him go, depending on when his contract ends, or trade him away. That is possible scenarios that the Lions could use. Now, on to the number 21, which is the Las Vegas Raiders at 7-6. They just lost horrifically against the Colts, and they will most likely win against the Chargers tonight. I still don't know, as this video is being recorded prior to Thursday Night Football. But as far as I can see, the Raiders are doing fine. Derek Carr is doing fine. Everyone is doing fine, and they're a playoff contender in my opinion. Hopefully that they can win, and hopefully that they can do something with this team in Las Vegas. Coming in at number 20, we got the New York Giants at 5-8, and they just lost to the Cardinals. They will lose to the Browns. Honestly, Daniel Jones, is he the future? Maybe. You gotta understand this. You gotta build a team around him. You didn't build a team around Eli for nothing. I mean, you build a team around him to win 2 Super Bowls. And that's the same thing you need to do for Daniel Jones. Honestly, I think you can actually build a team around the worst quarterback in football, DeMarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf. You could put a ginormously good team around those guys, and they will have the best career ever. But that's only if you put the amount of characters around these guys that will fit them and that will help them develop. Because if you don't help them, like Adam Gase wasn't helping Sam Darnold out in New York, it's always going to end up badly for everyone. Coming in at number 19, we got the Atlanta Falcons at 4-9. Just lost to the Chargers, and they're going to lose to the Buccaneers. Honestly, that's what I think is going to happen. But as far as I can see, the Atlanta Falcons need to give up on Matt Ryan. They should trade Matt Ryan most likely, unless this deal ends. I don't know. But as far as I could see, they should rebuild the team into a future Super Bowl contender, because that team that took them to Super Bowl 51 is long gone and it's never coming back. Rebuild the team and prepare for the future. Coming in at number 18, we got the San Francisco 49ers, and at 5-8, going up against the Washington football team and losing. They're going to go up against the Cowboys, much easier game, but it's going to be difficult regardless. Either side could win. And honestly, San Francisco, you either build a team around Jimmy Garoppolo or you don't. Honestly, I don't want you wasting Jimmy G's career if you guys are just going to be doing nothing to help him out. Honestly, he got injured this year, and nothing we can do about that. But something that San Francisco could do about that is put more protection for these guys. They lost all their defensive players, so I understand why this team isn't good right now. But honestly, next man up. That's what they need to do. Any team in any sport, whenever a starter goes down, next man up is always the thing they need to think about. Coming in at number 17, we got the Washington football team at 6-7, and they just beat the Niners. Now they're going against the Hawks and the Seahawks. Okay, that's most likely going to be a win for Seattle, but anything could happen. The Washington football team has done very well. I think they have the biggest chance on winning the division this year, and honestly, that is something, because honestly, who would have thought that a team with no name would be the team to win the NFC East? No one would. It would either have gone to Dallas, Philadelphia, or New York. Most likely the first two. But it seems that the first two aren't even capable of winning their division. It's in between New York and Washington, most likely. Any of these teams have a chance to win, but honestly, none of them are going to win the playoffs, as they're going to be eliminated in the first round, and if they get lucky, they'll be knocked out in the second. But one thing that the Washington football team needs to do is find out their quarterback situation. find out who's going to be your starter in the near future. Coming in at number 16, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 11-2. They just lost the Bills, and they're going against the Bengals. They're definitely going to go up this time as they're facing off against the Bengals. And honestly, this is how bad I think the Steelers really are. The thing is that they've been just playing lucky for 11 straight games. And honestly, these last two games showed the kind of team they really are. And honestly, they're going to have an easy game against Cincinnati. So I honestly think that Pittsburgh is going to be in the playoffs. Of course, they've already clinched. But as the number 1 seed, I do not think so. I think Kansas City will be the number 1 seed. Coming in at number 15, we got the Miami Dolphins at 8-5. Just lost the Chiefs and are going up against the Patriots. Now, honestly, I think the Dolphins are a good team under Tua Tagovailoa. And honestly, this team is very good under Brian Flores. I think that this team is on the right track and they should keep winning for the meantime. I do think that they will beat the Patriots, but as far as I could see, it could also be a Patriots win over the Dolphins. But I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the Dolphins making the playoffs as a wild card team. Coming in at number 14, we got the Seattle Seahawks at 9-4. And honestly, they are very, very lucky that the Jets decided not to appear. Of course, they were going to beat the Jets anyways. But honestly, that defense of Seattle should have lost them the game. Honestly, played very good, won 40-3. But Washington is a different case. Honestly, I think Washington's defense will be much difficult on Russell Wilson, and the Washington offense will be very difficult depending on who is at quarterback for the Seahawks defense. Honestly, I still see Seattle as the team to win, but I still see Seattle as well as a team to watch out that they might get eliminated by the Los Angeles Rams and Arizona Cardinals. Coming in at number 13, we got the New Orleans Saints, 10-3, and they just lost the Eagles. It's the reason why I put them so low is because, honestly, that Eagles win was so devastating. Honestly, that Saints defense should have stopped the Eagles, and honestly, after that loss, I think that not only did they lose their position at number 2 by a bunch, but because of it being Jalen Hurts, it wasn't even Carson Wentz. Honestly, I think that game might have been luck for the Eagles, but still, they're going against the Chiefs, and they're definitely going to lose against the Chiefs, unless Drew Brees plays. Then it's a matchup to understand maybe that the Saints might win, might not. But as far as I can see, the Saints are a team that are also going to make the playoffs, but not as the number 1 seed. It will most likely be Green Bay. Coming in at number 12, we got the Indianapolis Colts at 9-4, just beat the Raiders, and are going up against the Texans. Much easy win, but don't count the Texans out. As far as I can see, the Colts have done well. They've done well. They're keeping up with the Titans. And honestly, I think that the Colts will make the playoffs, but it all depends. Like, will they make it as a wild card team or as the AFC South champions? I honestly think that they won't make it as the AFC South champions. That will most likely be Tennessee, but you never know. I think Phillip Rivers and Frank Wright have been doing well, and honestly will continue to do well. Coming in at number 11, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 9-4. Just beat the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. And then they're going up against the Jets. So easy win for the Rams there. But honestly, the Rams have been doing well just like the Seahawks. But is the Rams going to be the NFC West champions? Perhaps. But it all depends. If the Rams lose to the Seahawks and the Seahawks win out, that is over. That is what will kill the Rams season for the playoff run as the NFC West champions. But I think that it could come down to the wire in the last week of the season. Coming in at number 10, we got the Minnesota Vikings at 6-7. They just lost to the Buccaneers. They will beat the Bears most likely. But I think that the Vikings, I put them at 7. And someone in the comments in last video asked, why are the Vikings at 7? Why? Well, honestly, I'm going to tell you why I put them at 7 before. Because they were 6-6 and a team on the rise. In my opinion, they were a team that was getting ready for a push to try and get Green Bay lacking. Of course, Green Bay isn't going to get caught lacking as they have already clinched the division, but a playoff push is still in the hands of Minnesota. That's another reason why I put them there, because they still have the grasp for the playoffs, and they're doing well. Well, until last week when they lose to the Buccaneers, but honestly, that was expected. But regardless, I think that the Vikings are a team that if they don't get it together now and lose one more game, they're not going to make the playoffs. Coming in at number 9, we got the Tennessee Titans at 9-4. They just beat the Jaguars. They're going against the Lions, most likely win. But I think the Tennessee Titans, just like the Indianapolis Colts, have the chance for the AFC South title or a wild card spot, either one. But honestly, I think Tennessee is the most likely AFC South champion. But do not count out Frank Wright and the Indianapolis Colts, as they are also on the rise and they are trying to catch Tennessee lacking. Coming in at number 8, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-5. Just beat the Vikings, will beat the Falcons, but I think what will happen here is that Tampa Bay, Brady, definitely gonna make the playoffs. Gronkowski and Brown and Godwin, you got Evans, Jones, Fournette, all those guys are going to make that team into a playoff contender. A Super Bowl contender? Maybe not. But as a playoff contender, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could actually make the playoffs. But as far as I could see, an NFC title is the biggest thing that the Buccaneers can do this year. Coming in at number 7, we got the New England Patriots at 6-7. Now, why is the Patriots all the way up here, even though they lost to the Rams? Honestly, I'm going to say this. The Patriots are still in it to win it, and I honestly think that Bill Belichick will do something to honestly give the Patriots a honest win. And even though they didn't do well against the Rams, I still am going to put them this high, even though I am tempted to put them below the top 10. But as far as I can see, I'm going to keep them at number 7 for the meantime. And their game against the Dolphins is most likely going to be a loss for them. But whoever knows, maybe they'll win and then stay at 7 or even raise one position up. Depends on what happens this week. Coming in at number 6, we got the Baltimore Ravens at 8-5. Just beat the Browns in a very good game. And honestly, they're going against the Jaguars. Easy win. That's an easy win. And honestly, they still don't have the advantage over the Browns. The Browns still have the division, well, not the division lead, but the lead over the Ravens, basically. But as far as I could see, Cleveland and Baltimore are two teams that you should watch for this playoffs. Because honestly, I think Baltimore is a team led by Lamar Jackson is going to be tough to beat, while the team led by Baker Mayfield in Cleveland is also going to be a team that is going to be very hard to defeat. Coming in at number 5, we got the Arizona Cardinals at 7-6. They just beat the Giants. They're going to beat the Eagles. And honestly, I think that the Arizona Cardinals under Kyler Murray are a playoff contender. Honestly, I think the only NFC West team that will not make the playoffs this year is the San Francisco 49ers. And the only one that is definitely not going to make the NFC West title is the Arizona Cardinals. It's between LA and Seattle. Unless something ginormous happens that the Arizona Cardinals get lucky. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Arizona Cardinals will stay where they are. They got an incredible wide receiving core. They got some good running backs. They got a good quarterback. They got a good defense. Honestly, I think Arizona is a team to beat this year in the playoffs. Coming in at number 4, we got the Cleveland Browns at 9-4. Just lost to the Baltimore Ravens. And they are going up against the New York Giants. They most likely will beat the Giants. But I think that the game against the New York Giants is going to be a tough game for the Giants. But as far as I can see, Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns will be a tough team to defeat, especially at home. Even though they're not at home in this game. In this game, they're going to be at MetLife. But I think that the Cleveland Browns this year are going to surprise people. Just like they already have by basically having their first winning season since 2007. Coming in at number 3, we got the Buffalo Bills at 10-3. they just beat the Steelers, and honestly, they will beat the Denver Broncos. And honestly, as I stated, Buffalo is an elite team with an elite quarterback, and honestly, that team is probably going to get to the divisional round or the AFC Championship game. That's as far as I can see for them. But a Buffalo Bills team that will be successful this year, of course. Next year, maybe. The year after that, who knows? Coming in at number 2, we got the Green Bay Packers, who just clinched the NFC North, and honestly at 10-3 just beat the Lions and will face the Panthers, which is a most likely win. I think that the Green Bay Packers are also a team to beat in this year in the playoffs. Honestly, the Green Bay Packers are the team that you need to watch out for the most in the NFC playoffs, as Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to try, before giving the ropes to Jordan Love, a Super Bowl title. And he's basically going to try and beat every single team in the NFC to do so. And if he has to, defeat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, which is a possibility. I don't know if it'll happen. I think that the Chiefs will make the Super Bowl this year, but it's going to be against undetermined. Now, coming in at number 1, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at 12-1, the best record in the National Football League. They just defeated the Dolphins, and they will defeat the Saints depending on whether Drew Brees plays, because honestly, it's going to be tough if Drew Brees doesn't play, because if Drew Brees doesn't play, it's going to be a win for Kansas City. If he plays, it's a possible Kansas City win, because I'm going to give it more of a chance for them winning the game if the Saints, of course, play Brees, because Taysom Hill is not the answer in New Orleans. And that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Tweet me any video ideas. Also comment down below, where do you think these teams should be ranked? Which ones should be higher? Which ones should be lower? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.